Hi, this is Sal Tuzzolino, host and ringmaster of the Sports Circus, the big top of sports talk radio. Did you hear this?
And then I did, Super Bowl as a player, assistant coach, and 2 as a head coach. And working for Al Davis, I should be in the Hall of Fame just working for Al Davis.
Right. Clown around with us and stream the show online at thesportcircus.com. Join me and special guest 3-time national champion and 4-time Rose Bowl champion coach John Robinson this Saturday morning from 8 to 9 here on NBC Sports 920, The Game. You could catch the Sports Circus tomorrow on the radio on AM 920, NBC Sports The Game here in Las Vegas, or you can stream the show live at thesportcircus.com. Today, see if I can spit this out today. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. Okay, today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection whenever you need it. You never know what's around the corner. Give Legal Shield a call at 213-245-1305 for dependable legal protection for less than $1 a day. Call them today, 213-245-1305. All right, we're going to get into a little bit of college basketball today in this segment, and we'll cover the NBA and we're going to cover the NHL a little bit later on. But there's been some very interesting developments as far as the rankings and as far as the seedings go for the upcoming March Madness, the tournament. This is shaping up to be a very unusual ranking as opposed to where the teams are actually going to be situated when it comes to the brackets. Everybody fills out brackets. Well, not everybody. Most people fill out brackets to see who's going to win the national championship. And so far, the NCAA selection committee has already selected the top 4 teams, which makes no sense. They're basically a month ahead of schedule. It makes absolutely no sense. There are teams that are peaking at the right time. As you can see, there's an enormous ring behind me. Well, that team right now is the best team in college basketball today. I'm not saying all season, today. Because according to the rankings, Gonzaga at 27-0, 27 wins against no losses, this is the number 1 team in America according to the polls. And they had some really nice wins early in the season. But what they haven't done is they haven't played the consistent power that teams in the ACC or the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the Big East, these teams, or even the Pac-12, these teams play much stiffer competition. We talk about strength of schedule, and you look at the bench, you have 15 guys on the team, and you realize from top to bottom that any 5 can play with any 5, and that's what makes the NCAA basketball tournament great. Because anything can happen on the court. They say anything can happen on any given day in sports. But Gonzaga at number 1 is a very shaky number 1, even though they're undefeated. They had some early season wins against, the likes of Arizona, who is currently ranked 5, but at the time they were down the trough, and it's early in the season. We don't really know what's going to happen early in the season anyway. So a lot of teams will take bad losses because either A, they've overlooked the teams they're playing, their non-conference games, or B, they just aren't ready mentally to get into the season yet. And this year, it's taken Duke, it's taken them 3 months to really get their game on. And right now, if you look at what they've done in the past, in the last 6 games, their last 6 opponents, they've beaten 3 ranked opponents, 2 of them on the road, very tough venues. They beat Carolina, they beat Virginia at Virginia. I mean, it goes on and on. This is a team that is very, very scary with Tatum, their leadership with Emile Jefferson, and of course Grayson Allen. And everybody knows Grayson Allen. They think he trips everybody. But no, that's just the way he plays his game. He doesn't trip people to play his game, but the way he positions himself, he's very low to the ground. And unfortunately, the people that watch these games, they say, he tried to trip somebody. No, he didn't. It's just the way that defenders play their games. John Stockton was famous for the same thing. In fact, John Stockton was probably the dirtiest player the NBA has ever seen. But everybody liked John Stockton. And it's funny when you think about guys that were the bad guys, and we'll get into the NBA in a minute, you think about bad guys like Dennis Rodman, and Dennis Rodman wasn't half the dirty player that John Stockton was, or that Bill Laimbeer was for the Detroit Pistons. But we'll get into that in the NBA segment that's coming up. Going back to the college, I have the rankings in front of me, and I see the rankings, and I'm going to let you see them too. You get a nice, good look at them. Take a look at them from top to bottom. All right, there's your rankings right now. That's from the Associated Press. and the coaches pool combined. And Villanova is a solid number 2, absolutely. Kansas, shaky at 3, but I think Arizona and Kansas could probably switch spots. It doesn't really matter when you get down to 3 and below. The number 1 and number 2, I would still give Villanova the nod over Gonzaga because of strength of schedule. And Villanova certainly has a tougher road as we go down, because you think about the teams they have to play, even the teams that have transferred conferences into the Big East, such as Butler, and Butler's ranked 24th. Let me tell you something about Butler. This is a team that has a lot of quality wins, and they hang in there with just about everybody, if not take them down. Butler's 20-6, and their 6 losses, they are not bad losses at all. And their 20 wins, they have a lot of quality wins. So this team is certainly ranked at 24th. They should be probably in the top 15, in my opinion. But then again, that's just my opinion. What the hell do I know, right? So the balance of the league, looking up and down the standings, what I have a hard time understanding here is when you look at the teams in the Big Ten, and they beat each other up, just like in the ACC, they beat each other up. So the records don't really mean a lot. But when it comes to tournament selection time, if you take a look at the Big Ten, you're basically going to have approximately 7 or 8 teams that are going to make the tournament, and they're going to be from a number 2 or a number 3 all the way down to maybe a number 13 or 14 in the seedings on the brackets. And the ACC, they're going to probably get 10 teams in. 10! And it doesn't matter. Even at the number 10th team in the ACC is at 17-9 overall. And a lot of those wins of the 17 from Miami, those are quality wins. So that's why conferences like the ACC get so many, the Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, etc., because their strength of schedule is so strong that basically they just beat each other up all season just to get to the tournament and hope that they get a rematch against the team that may have beaten them, so it makes it even more exciting. So Gonzaga, being in their conference, they really don't have a lot of competition. You'll have St. Mary's, which is a quality program. They have a loss or two, and that's really about it. There's not a whole heck of a lot over there in their conference, but I have to say that the teams that are in the larger conferences, people bitch about them all the time. Well, they're getting so many teams in the tournament. Well, they deserve it. They've earned it. And if you take their lineup and their recruiting and what they've gone out, and people always complain about Duke here, which, go Duke. I'm a Duke alum, and that's why we have a big ring there, because how many do they have? I don't know. Last I checked, I think it was about 5. Nonetheless, maybe 6. Doesn't matter. The fact is, you take a team like that, you take a team like Duke that is certainly the number 1 team right now as the season progresses with their last 6 wins, quality wins, and over really tough teams. People complain about them because they say, well, geez, they have this recruit and that recruit. And it's because of the coaching. Coach K is the best coach on the planet in basketball, period. There is no second place, third place. He doesn't belong in any of those. It's either first or last. So guess what? He's first. That's why the NBA teams want him. He won't go there. And he is basically a lifer at Duke. And remember, he learned under Bobby Knight. He played for Bobby Knight. And Bobby Knight was probably, prior to Coach K, never mind Coach Wooden, but Bobby Knight was probably the most fiery, and he was, outside of John Wooden, the most influential coach in all of college basketball. John Wooden at UCLA, he's a coaching god. But the problem is, that's in a different era. In today's era, in a very tough time, with all these one-and-done students, which is a whole nother discussion, you have a guy that knows how to rally the troops, keep the troops together. And this is the reason Coach K is the best coach on the planet today, because he knows how to keep not only the personalities together, but he knows how to juggle these kids that want to come in for 1 year and basically steal from the university, use the stage, which is completely wrong, use the stage to showcase themselves for the NBA. And you're going to see it. Tatum's going to go in the first round in the NBA. In fact, if you saw the game against Virginia, there was a shot from the ESPN camera. They were panning the audience, and there was about 9 different scouts from the NBA there just to watch him and just to watch Grayson Allen and Luke Kennard. So you've got guys that really know how to play, but they're learning from the master. And that's why Coach K was the Olympic coach for the last, 5-6 years. And how many gold medals did he win? Exactly. Because he knows how to manage the talent, manage the troops, manage everything. So at the end of the day, he is the best coach in America. Watch out for Duke in the NCAA tournament. They're very, very dangerous. So We'll catch you on the other side. Remember, this segment was brought to you by Legal Shield, 213-245-1305. Give them a call today.